A very good evening to all of you. Good evening, Abhishek, Manvi, Hardik, Neeru, Pallavi, Pranav, all those who are here with us in the Zoom session. Saundarya, Lahari, Moruju, Pooja. Good evening, children. And I welcome all the students over here with us at the portal also. Miss Jaya, Joa Praveen, Nancy, Ingu. Good evening, everyone, children. So again, a new day, a new class. So I welcome all of you for today's session. And we'll be starting with chapter number 6, that is registration of charges today. Pooja is saying good morning. So good evening, Pooja. I hope you are from the same place, same country. Praveen, good evening. Yes, Hardik, definitely you can ask your doubts. But first, we will start with registration of charges. And as promised, since we have 2 classes for registration of charges today as well as day after tomorrow, that is on 13th. So we'll try to cover as much as possible in today's session for registration of charges. And the next session, we will cover whatever balance is left for registration of charges. And we'll also have a quick recap of acceptance of deposits so that whatever doubts you have and whatever things you still feel that you want me to explain you in detail, we'll just take up that as well. So be geared up for these 2 sessions because we'll be quickly going through the entire chapter of registration of charges also, as well as we're going to revise acceptance of deposit in the next session. All right. Okay, all those who have just joined, Anirudh, Ambeshwari, all of you, good evening, children. So let's begin the session today of registration of charges. So what is the meaning of this chapter? Can anyone think about it? Why it is saying, as of now, we were doing chapters like prospectus. So it was giving us details about prospectus. We were doing share capital and debentures. They were the names of the chapters were such that they were explaining whatever the content is given. Here, the chapter itself is named as registration of charges. It seemed as if it is a certain topic of a chapter, you know. So the whole topic of this Companies Act 2013 of registration has been contained in chapter number 6 of the Companies Act, which talks about the registering of the charges. So means there is something which needs to get registered. So registration of charges, the chapter itself, this chapter talks about what is a charge and how do we need to get this charge registered with ROC. So we discussed about many things that make a charge against tangible. All right, good, Hardik and Pallavi. So great that you all are geared up, huh? Even just before beginning the session, you're answering the things. That's wonderful. Okay. Anushka Raj, Ankit Mishra, good evening, children. And be active on this admin portal also. All those students who have joined with us on the portal, be active there also and keep asking as and when and keep answering back whenever I ask you questions. Okay, so let's begin the session first. Let me explain you certain things and then I will ask you and then you can I'll take up your doubts also. Good evening, we are Niket now. So this chapter, what I was trying to tell you is talking about getting the charge register. So it is very important to understand that this chapter is not going to tell you how a charge is created. So in the chapter of deposits and chapter of debentures, you have understood how the charge is being created. So what is the exact meaning of charge, ma'am? You are saying this word again and again, charge is created, charge is registered. Why don't you tell us the meaning of charge and then you proceed further? So that would sound a little more better. So what is the meaning of this word charge? This chapter is going to tell you a few things, but even if I before give you the chapter overview, it is very important to tell you the meaning of charge in the layman's language. What is this charge? Charge is a kind of a security that we are giving to another person when we have borrowed certain sum of money. Remember when we were talking about deposits raising, we were giving security. When we were issuing debentures, we were giving security. So all these chapters are very much interconnected. So when you do preliminary, it is all about the definitions, understanding. You have done all these definitions, section 2, clause 16. We have done the definition and there I told you that we will understand it when we do this chapter. So preliminary chapter is all about definitions. One day you should sit and just revise all your definitions because it's a very important chapter Definitely a question comes from that chapter. Incorporation of a company is exclusively a very different chapter, which has large amount of things which you have studied in CA foundation also. So I typically found that incorporation of companies is much easier as compared to prospectus, because prospectus you have done each and everything was new for you. So incorporation of companies was a different chapter. It is a carrying forward of your CA foundation journey, where you were talking about memorandum, articles, understanding about the OPC, extensive about OPC, but you have heard about these terms when you were doing foundation. But prospectus was altogether a different chapter, which I believe was the huge one, and you have understood it well. I believe that, right? Do you remember? We have done prospectus very well and nicely in detail. Then you did about share capital and debentures. That also very elaborative discussions you have done with the teachers. Again, it was something which you have heard about from class 11, 12, you're hearing about share capital, debentures. So debentures ke baad, when you did deposits, so it was a carry forward of the chapter. So when we come to debentures, all the linking of the chapters of Companies Act 2013 starts, because once you have raised the prospectus, you have issued the prospectus, shares have been invited, subscription has been taken, and then we come to the debentures. From debentures, we are taking another borrowing, that is deposits. And from deposits, we understood that we're giving a security. And now the security, overall the chapter of charge, however it is created, this charge, how we have to get it registered is how this chapter is linked with the previous chapters. So today, whenever I'll be talking about any kind of security, tangible or intangible. So you might tend to get confused that, ma'am, in the previous sessions, you were always saying it is a tangible asset. But why we are talking about tangible and intangible? Because chapter 6 overall is going to tell you whatever security you have given for the loan, that has to be registered with us. So, ma'am, we were doing in deposits, we were doing it for tangible assets, but here we will be talking about tangible, intangible, both the assets. Is that clear? Each and every word will be explained to you. I'm just giving you a very simple overview that what is the meaning of this chapter number 6, registration of charges. So the charge in layman's language we were understanding. So you are a bank, HDFC Bank. I went to bank and I said, bank, I need a loan of 1 lakh rupees. Now, do you think bank will not check my financials, will not ask me anything, will just pick up 1 lakh from the account and give it to me? Bank will say, ma'am, let's take a little higher amount. 1 lakh is a little smallest. If you're having a good, creditability and other things that you've understood in deposits, also credit rating and other things. So I'm a company and I need a loan of 1 crore rupees. So bank will say, okay, fine, seeing your credit rating agencies and all these CIBIL points and everything, I am ready to give you a loan, but I need something as a security. You have to keep something with me so that I'm secure. Tomorrow, if your company fails, you fail to repay my money, I'm going to sell this property or whatever charge that you're going to give me, whatever security word I'm using as, whatever security you're going to give me, I'm going to sell it off and I'm going to recover my money that I've given you as a loan. This is what happens. This is what we have been understanding in sale of goods also when we talk about the word pledge, the movable things. Remember, when we do the pledging, the gold is given and loan is taken. The bank will sell a loan in order to recover the money. But when we talk about mortgage, it was always about the immovable properties. Remember, do you remember all these things, movable, immovable, that you have done in sale of goods? You have understood that sale of goods was typically applicable to the movable goods. There we try to understand the word mortgage and pledge also. Today we'll be understanding the real meaning, how Companies Act is trying to connect with it when a company is asking for a loan or a borrowing, and the security that the company is giving in return means a charge has been created in favor of bank. So my property, the company's property that I'm going to give to the bank as security, means I'm giving my property as a charge in favor of HDFC Bank, and I have taken a loan of 1 crore rupees. Now, what will happen? Either on the due date, I repay the money. And if I fail to repay the money, what is bank going to do? Bank is going to keep the title deeds, ownership documents are with bank only, and they're going to sell off my property and recover 1 crore rupees. And one very interesting point I told you, children, when we were doing chapter of deposits, whatever security I'm giving, it should be less than the amount of loan. Am I right? The security. So 1 crore loan I have taken and I should give around 10 lakhs or 90 lakhs security. Would it be fine? Can I give the security amount can be lesser than the amount of loan that I've taken? Okay, so many answers have come up. Great. What about here, the status? No, ma'am. Security value should always be more than the amount of loan. Very good, very good. Ritika Gupta, Joy Praveen, Ankit Mishra, Anushka, all of you. Hardik, Kushi, Sanya. Correct answers. Pooja, Apurv, Riddhi, Abhishek Mishra, Anirudh, Dilip. Dilip, what answer are you giving? Other financial institutes and yes, Nahari Maruju, all those will be considered as a charge on security for the intangible assets also. That's correct. But let me just explain you the meaning, then it will become more clearer. Yes, the bank will sell your security and recover the amount. That's correct. Absolutely correct. All of you have given. Mortgage and pledge both are same, ma'am. Malu Jadar is asking. There is a difference between the word mortgage and pledge. I'll just explain you, Mr. Malu. Yes, Radhika Sharma, that's correct. Security can't be less than the borrowing. Who has written this? Avinash, Anirudh, all of you have given the correct answer, children. So the security value, because I am taking a loan of 1 crore, why the bank will accept something lower than that? Also the amount of security plus the repayment of interest amount, you remember? It should always be more than the amount of loan that we have taken, the borrowings that we have taken. So those who are asking about mortgage and pledge, both are same. Malu, you're asking. So mortgage is again the loan which is taken against the immovable property. And pledge is the word used when the security that I've given is a movable good, maybe like a car or gold or certain furniture or any other kind of things which are movable goods. So in this chapter also, we'll be understanding where the word mortgage is being used. Mortgage is largely covered under the Transfer of Property Act. So when you go to see a final, you'll be understanding about all these Transfer of Property Act and other references will be given. But as of now, you can simply remember that mortgage and pledge are different. Pledges for the movable goods given as security, and mortgage talks about when the immovable property is given as a security. And this word charge includes mortgage. Includes mortgage means here we will be either giving the tangible assets, movable goods or immovable goods, or even the intangible assets, certain financial assets will be given as a security. They can also be given as a security when the charge is created. All right. Yes, somebody wants to ask something. All right, good. You have understood. Thank you, Malu. Okay. So now what are we going to understand? First, now you have got an overview of this chapter that, okay, ma'am, it talks about, it's a very simple chapter. We'll be understanding when we went to the bank, we took a loan, we have given certain things as a security. And what are we? We are a company. Because we're in Companies Act, so this charge has to be got registered by a company. So if you're a human being and you have taken a house for yourself and you went to bank to take a loan, it is not necessary for you to get the charge registered. It is for the company. When a company takes a loan or a borrowing and they have given us a security, that means a charge has been created. Yes, Ajay Surya, correct. Then the company has to get that charge registered. So whose duty it is to get the charge registered? It is the company's duty. Section 77 will tell you. So this chapter has section 2, clause 16 definition. First we'll be doing definition of charge, which is further defining the two types of charge, that is fixed charge and the floating charge. That is how this chapter is divided. Second, we'll be covering section 77 till I believe 87, 10 sections you have in this chapter and lot of forms in these chapters. Plus, all the forms are very easy. I'm going to show you also the picture of certain forms in this session today and some forms in the next session. And please try to make sure that you learn the form numbers along with me. In the previous session, when we were doing deposits, I showed you DPT1, DPT2, DPT3. I promised to show you, which I'll be showing you in the next class also. But those forms we have done along with the text, so you have to remember them. So whatever forms we are doing, try to retain them because they're very easy. When you try to understand, then it becomes very easy for you to retain and remember it. So section 77 to 87 we'll be doing, and certain number of forms we'll be mentioning as and when we cover those topics. So the first topic will be to duty to register the charges. It is company's duty. Once you have given the goods as a security and loan has been taken, a charge has been taken, this charge has to be registered with the ROC. Section 78 says application for registration of charge. So who is going to apply for this? So section 78 will typically tells you that if company fails to get this charge registered, then the lender, who was the lender in our case? Bank was the lender. There can be another company who is lending money. There can be other financial institutions. There can be banks. So we call them the lender. Lender means the charge holder. So I was a company, ABC Limited, and I have given my property to HDFC Bank as a security. So in whose favor I have created a charge? I have created a charge in favor of HDFC Bank. So HDFC Bank, my dear students, will become the charge holder. So section 78 will tell us if the company fails to register the charges. Oh my God, this AI now, whatever actions I do, it try to do the same things. Okay. All right. So whatever, where were we? Yes. If company fails to register the charges, then the charge holder will go and apply for the charges. So just the word given to confuse you, somebody will think duty to register charges, padha to 77. Again, application has to be made. No. So duty to register charges, you can briefly write it down in your own words, means when the company has, it is the duty of the company to get the charge register. Section 77 says it is the duty of the company. Oh, wow. Lahari Moruju is asking from where the company bring the security as a charge against the amount. So that's a very interesting question. So when you're borrowing money, obviously your assets have to be given as a security, child. You're not going to borrow something to give as a security. So say for, let's take a very rare, simple example. I am a person, I am a company. I went to bank and obviously company will not go directly to the bank. It is an artificial person. So maybe I'm a director of a company and I've borrowed certain money and I've given this water bottle as a movable asset to the bank and I have taken certain money. So now this is my asset and maybe it is some a very expensive thing that I'm giving to the bank and I've taken the loan in return of that. So company is going to give their property or their assets or maybe the assets of the undertakings. So that we will understand in the definition of a charge. But definitely company is not borrowing anything from outsiders. They are giving the security of their own assets. Okay. So section 77, I was making you write down what are the brief things. It is the duty of the company to register the charges. So section 78 is going to tell us if the company fails to register the charges, who is going to register it? I just explained you. Who was HDFC Bank? Charge holder. So charge holder, how charge holder gets a charge registered, section 78. Then again, so these are the basic topics that we're going to discuss in today's class, these three things. And then in the next class, we'll be understanding how the date of notice of charge is to be given, how the register is to be maintained. Section 81 and 85 will tell you the registers to be maintained for the charges that has been created. How the satisfaction of charge means when you pay off the money and you get your charge free from charge. So your security has been blocked. Your property, you cannot sell it now. You have given it as a security to the bank, you cannot sell it. So satisfaction of charge means you need to pay back the money in order to get the property free from the charges. And section 86 and 87 will tell us in detail about the punishment and rectification of the registers. So these last 4-5 sections are very, very simple, which we'll take, which will happen in the next class. But today's class is very, very important. Even the next class is very important. But if you have understood today's details, then the next class will become the easiest for you. All right. So I hope you have got the overview. Now let's move ahead with the definition of charges. So what is the charge? Section 2 clause 16 tells charge is an interest or a lien. So what are we doing? We are either creating an interest or lien which is created on the property or the assets of a company or of its undertakings or both. It is created as a security for repayment of loan and charge includes mortgage. So definition of charge is beautifully broken up into 4 different points, out of which charge includes mortgage. I just explained you. The only difference between the word charge as a security includes movable as well as immovable goods. Both, I told you, the bottle is being given, the mobile phone is being given as a security, or we are giving the gold as a security, or my current assets. I can also give my raw materials as a security to the bank. Say, for example, I'm running a grocery store and I need loan for running my business. So whatever assets I'm having with me, my current assets will be all the stock in trade, my debtors, they can also be given to the bank as a security. So charge is a wider term. Charge includes mortgage, means if company wants to give their property, immovable assets, the land and building, the plant and machinery, the office buildings, then the word mortgage is used. In case of mortgage, title deeds and ownership documents are given for the security. So I think fourth point is clear to everyone. Charge includes mortgage. Everyone is clear about this. Okay. So now let's understand. And the third point is also very much clear. It is created as a security for repayment of loan. So what is charge? Charge is security that we are giving for the word. It has been made because we are doing law. So little law has to use their own terminology and technicalities. Then only the subject will become technical. Otherwise, it will become like an English paper. Okay, ma'am, charge means security given for the repayment of loan. So third point is very simply written so that you understand, but charge includes mortgage was also very simple. Now we're going to understand what is law trying to tell you, what is section 2, clause 16, why we are doing this chapter, what is the need. The need is to understand all these kind of words. So charge is an interest or a lien. Lien is a very simple word. All my students know lien means possession of goods. So this is my goods. This is my mobile phone. I am giving it to the bank and taking money. So now my mobile phone, who is having the possession, who is having the lien? Remember, the lien can be a general and specific lien. And when we used to talk about sale of goods, we used to tell you that specific lien means only when you fail to repay the money, then only the bank is going to sell your property. Remember all these kind of things. So lien means possession, kabza kar lena, apne kabze mein le lena. Somebody has taken the possession of goods in their own hold. Now my goods are in the control of the lender. That is means lien. So charge is means a lien created on the assets or property of the company. Ma'am, you did not tell us what is the meaning of interest. So lien is possession that you're creating. Interest means now if my immovable property is there, I just showed you, I gave you my mobile phone, you're a bank, I gave you my water bottle, I'm giving you my other assets, which are movable goods. So you're exercising lien, you're possessing those goods. Only when I repay the money, you give my assets back. This is what is going to happen. But what is the meaning of interest? So there is an immovable property in Delhi in Rajouri Garden. And this is the company's building over there. And they are going to give this building as a security. No, company will not pick up that building and give us a security. Company has to give certain amount of interest, means the title deeds, the ownership documents will be given to the bank as a security. So that is means charge as an interest. So interest means when the documents are given, title deeds, ownership documents are given in order so that now if I'm having a title deeds of your house, that means I'm having control in my hand. All right. So now the bank is having the title deeds. Tomorrow you fail to repay the loan of the bank. Bank is going to dispose of your property because bank is having all those power of attorney and ownership documents in their hand. So here the charge is created in the way of interest. And lien means in possession of the goods. When you have given the goods to the bank, then that means they can exercise the lien. They can have a control on your goods. Clear? Now the word interest and lien is absolutely clear to all of you. And it is created on the property. What is the meaning of property and assets, ma'am? Why are they using two different words? Property means house, building, land, property. Assets can be current assets also, debtors, raw materials. Yes, you can give your current assets also as a charge. Charge can be created in favor of your current assets also. Okay, that I'll explain you in a minute when we do fixed and floating charge. But as of now, so interest or lien is created either on the property, that is building, land, house of the company, or assets of the company, that is current assets of a company or any of its undertaking or both. Each and every line is important, children. So undertaking means all the subsidiary and associates. So if a company in which I'm having more than 20% of the interest in another company, the net worth of the another company, then it becomes my undertaking. So the company A is having 40 lakh shares it is holding in the company B, which is the total net worth is 1 crore. So more than 20% stake if I'm having in another company, it becomes my undertakings. So on my associate subsidiaries, I can also create a lien on the property and assets of my subsidiaries and associates as well. That is the meaning of undertakings or both. So let's learn the definition of charge. Charge is an entrust or lien. Entrust means the ownership documents or other things that you're giving. Lien means possession of the goods that you're giving. It is created either on the property or assets of the company or of its undertakings or both. It is a security which is given for the repayment of loan. It is given as a security. So you're giving, bank is feeling secured now. I have something in control. Tomorrow, if Harleen ma'am and her company will not pay my money, I'm going to sell off the goods that they have given. So it is a security kind of thing which has been given, and charge includes mortgage. So my question to the class is, mortgage is for the movable goods or immovable goods? Aisha, Pranav, Abhishek, Hardik, Pallavi, Rachna. So quick, we are Niketna. Avinash. Avinash says, I am movable. Oh, immovable, you're saying. Neha, wrong. It's immovable. Immovable like house, Sanya, Manvi, Ajay, Surya. Very good. So many of you have given the correct answers. Anushka Raj. So excellent, children. That means you're all are awake and you're listening and you're understanding. Nice. Okay. Now, since we have understood the definition of charge, so there are two types of charges. One is fixed charge, one is floating charge. So what is a fixed charge and what is a floating charge? Fixed means, as the name suggests, it is a fixed one. The land and building, plant and machinery, all these assets you see on the balance sheet, the fixed charges. Floating charge means keep on changing. All right, something which is fluctuating, something which is changing, like your debtors. Today you might have debtors of 10,000. Tomorrow it might be 5,000. And day after tomorrow it might be 15,000. So all these debtors given as a charge will be a floating charge. When plant and machinery, buildings is given as a charge is a fixed charge. Let us understand what is a fixed charge. Fixed charge is a charge on specific assets of the borrowing company. Who is the borrowing company? The company who is borrowing loan. So let's understand all these things. Kind of variable. Yes, Rachna, definitely it's a variable charge. So fixed charge is a charge on specific assets of the borrowing company. So there is a company X which is borrowing loan from HDFC Bank. So HDFC Bank is the lender. Company X is the borrowing company. Now loan of 1 lakh, HDFC Bank has borrowed loan of 1 lakh. And now company X will give their asset as a security, specific assets. So fixed charge will be created. These are identified assets. They are of permanent nature. They're not temporary, they're permanent. Land and building, plant and machinery, office premises. These assets are identified at the time of creation of charge. So company says, okay, please have my papers and ownership documents of my house or my office building, or maybe my big machineries that I have installed it. Please have these papers of the assets of these papers to the HDFC Bank. And that means a fixed charge has been created in favor of these assets. Now, company can use these assets, but company cannot sell these assets. Very, very important. Assets which are given under fixed charge can only be used, but they cannot be sold. Company is not permitted to sell these assets during the period for which the payment has not been made. The loan has been taken. So company is in need of money. It thought that let me sell the land and building that I've given as a security. Law says no, you're prohibited from doing that. Remember, again, I'm just, don't connect this chapter with sale of goods, but those words, free from charges, implied warranties, encumbrances. Remember, no, all these things, the words that you have heard over there. Whenever you're buying anything, you have to make sure that it shall be free from charge. Similarly, the company, when you have given your land and building as a charge against the loan that you have taken, and now you're planning to sell that land, law will not permit you. You have to repay the loan because you have given those particular buildings as a security to the bank, right? So already somebody is holding a charge on them. So either you repay the money, then you sell, or you need the permission or consent of the charge holder. Who is the charge holder in our example? Who is the charge holder in our example, please? What I'm explaining. HDFC Bank. Excellent. My God, such a wonderful class I have. All of them have answered it correctly. Khushi, why are you saying company X? Company X is borrowing company. It is borrowing money. Lender is HDFC Bank. So they are the charge holder. Because they are having my property in their hold, a charge has been created in their favor. Gurminder Kaur, very good. Bhavna Garg, Riddhi Anirudh, all of you have answered it correctly. So a fixed charge is usually created by way of mortgage or by deposit of title deed. So I have already spoken a lot about this. Property when given as a security means mortgage. So ownership documents or title deeds are given as a security to the bank. When the charge is created on such assets, this charge remains fixed. Borrowing company is not permitted to sell these assets during the period. So say for example, the company has borrowed the loan on 1st January 2023. And this company promises to HDFC Bank to repay the loan by 31st December 2024. So for these 2 years, company can use this office premises against which loan has been taken, but company cannot sell the office because somebody is having a charge, somebody is having holding this property as a security. But still, if the company feel the need to sell this office premises, what is title deeds? Manvi, title deeds means title documents. Title means ownership. The document which shows you the ownership is known as the title deeds. Okay. So assets under fixed charge can be sold only with the permission or consent of the charge holder. You cannot sell now. I cannot sell this house for 2 years because somebody is holding this, somebody is having a security on this. Okay. A fixed charge is vacated when the money borrowed against the assets subject to fixed charge is repaid in full. Now, let me just divide it into different points for you. Point number one is fixed charges created on the specific assets of the borrowing company. These are of permanent nature and they are identified at the time of creation of charge. You will not wait that, okay, let me borrow money and then I will tell you tomorrow what is the charge. At the time of creation of charge only, these assets are identified. Fourth, we have done there by way of mortgage or deposit of title deeds. I hope title deeds everyone is clear. The ownership documents, घर के कागज जो होते हैं जो आप दे देते हो ना, अगर आपने कंपनी की प्रॉपर्टी you're getting giving as a security, so all these documents of the ownership of this property of the company will be given to the bank. So how can you sell it? The bank is holding all these title documents. That's why it says that company can use. I can use this house. Okay, I have taken a loan against my house. I can use this house. I can stay in it. I can utilize it, but I cannot sell it unless and until I pay off the loan. Why? Anyone can tell me why I cannot sell my fixed assets against which I have taken loan? Why do you think they are not permitted to sell the assets? It's very simple and common sense thing. Why a company or why an individual cannot sell those assets till the loan is repaid? Because somebody has to recover the money from that assets. Tomorrow, if I don't repay my money because I don't have the title deed, okay, this is the charge holder. That is a nice answer. Very good, Lahari Moraju, because it is charged as a security. It is charged against the loan. Good, Riddhi. Because tomorrow, if I don't pay my money, the bank is going to come and he's going to sell off this house to recover their money. That's why I'm not able to allow to sell it because somebody is holding interest in this. Somebody is having interest in this. Good, Pallavi Ajay Surya. Praveen, ma'am, in that case, can the company get the permission and repay since we explained with? Yes, yes, yes. I will explain this point. Why and on what basis the bank will give. Praveen, okay, good question, Praveen. So this is clear to all of you that we are not permitted to sell this point. Point number 5. Point number 6 says assets under fixed charge can only be sold with the permission or consent of the charge holder. So now listen, Praveen, very carefully. Charge holder is not going to give their consent so easily because my money is at stake. I am at risk. Say, for example, your company has borrowed 1 crore rupees from me and you have given me the security of your property. I am never going to give you the permission unless and until you repay my loan. But there can be certain cases where you're selling your property to company B, and company B has now agreed that, okay, Harleen ma'am, the lender, the charge holder, don't worry. Company A has not repaid your loan. I am going to get this charge registered in my favor. And please give me permission. I will repay your money tomorrow. So that is whole of the story. In section 78, you will understand, and section 79, you'll understand in detail. But as of now, simply just make up your mind that you cannot sell when it is a fixed charge. But if the consent or permission of charge holder is given, which is very rare, if you get that permission, then only you can sell. Both the points you have to remember. You're not permitted to sell. If you take the permission or consent of charge holder, then only you can sell. Clear ho gaya? And the seventh point is fixed charge is vacated means it gets free. When does it comes to an end? Kab khatam hoga? Fixed charge is vacated or comes to an end when the money borrowed against the assets of the fixed charge is repaid in full. So you have borrowed 1 crore. 31st December was the due date to pay it. On 1st November only you repaid the money. 1st November you went back to the bank. You have been regularly paying the interest amounts also. And now you have repaid 1 crore to HDFC Bank. Can we say that your fixed charge is now vacated? Yes, ma'am. Can I now sell my property on 1st December 24? If I have repaid the loan, can I now sell my assets against? Very good. All of you have said yes, that's correct. So we are all on the same page and we have understood it correctly. And don't get confused with section 78, 79. We have not done them yet. Hardik and all those who are asking questions, just wait for me to come on those sections, okay? Yes, Lahari Moruju, it exactly relates to section 79, what query you have written. So I'll explain you over there. Okay, so these 7 points are clear for fixed charge. We have understood the definition of charge. Why we're doing this chapter, we have understood. Registration is important. What is a charge? Fixed charge is clear. Now let's quickly do the definition of floating charge. Floating charge means fluctuating, changing in nature, like raw materials, stock and trade. So I am a Skechers company. Skechers makes shoes, different types of shoes for females, males, for kids, and they have different kind of sandals. So I have all these stock in trade and I have borrowed 1 crore rupees for running a Skechers store. And I said, okay, I don't have my own premises. I am myself paying rent over here. So why don't you take a charge against all these stock in trade? So all my Skechers shoes that are lying over there, the bellies and other things and other shoes, kids shoes, sport shoes, whatever shoes I'm having, I have given them as a stock and trade is given as a charge. The charge is created in favor of them. What does it mean, ma'am? Tomorrow, if I don't repay 1 crore rupees, the bank will come and they will recover the assets worth of 1 crore from my shop because I have taken the loan against the current assets. So it can either be raw materials or stock and trade or debtors. The charge upon the assets, both present and future. So now, here, the interesting story is that fixed charge, I told you that you can use it, but you cannot sell it. So you were using the house, you were using the office premises, but you were prohibited to sell it. That is a separate story where we are taking the permission from the charge holder and selling. But otherwise, what we have understood, you are not permitted to sell it. But here in floating charge, law says keep doing your ordinary course of business. Feel free. You are running the Skechers showroom, keep buying the shoes, keep selling the shoes. Your raw material will be converted into finished goods. More stock will be coming. The stock will be going out. People are coming. They're buying the things. You're selling the things. Everything is running normally. The charge can be on the assets present and future means today I have 5 different Skechers shoes. Either the charge is created on them. These 5 have gone. New technology has come. Now the charge is created on this new technology shoes. How they value it, we don't have to calculate the valuation, how the money was raised and how much value. You don't have to do those practical questions. But yes, the charge is created on either the present stock that I'm having or the future stock, whatever is coming. What is important is that the business should keep running. It is flowing. So floating charge is on the raw material, stock and trade and debtors of the company. They can also be given as a charge if you don't have much fixed assets. Floating assets are given as the charge against which the loan is taken. The assets keep changing because the borrowing company is permitted to use them and producing. So company is allowed to use them. For trading means for only in the ordinary course of business, please write it down. For trading means you can use the assets. You can use the assets given as floating charge in the ordinary course of business. In the ordinary course of business. Sarvesh, Ritika Gupta, Nancy, Ankit Mishra, Bala Murugan, Sarvesh, Joa Praveen, Kazma, all of you are giving the correct answers here also. Ritika, Vishmita, good, Shruti Kumari. Why, what if raw material is non-durable? So that is a separate story, beta. When we do in detail about floating charges, crystallization, there you'll understand. Yes, Bala Murugan, Section 77 is all about the processing fees and all, but I have still not explained Section 77. Yes, that is true. Does it means collateral the charge security is greater than? Yes, Ankit Mishra, that's good. Joa Praveen, Manoj Kumar, all those who are here with us on the portal, you are also giving the correct answers. Okay, so we can use these assets which are given under floating charge only in the ordinary course of business. No, it is not about the guarantee, Hardik. It is not, guarantee is not covering over here. Here we're simply talking about the security which we're giving as the charge. Shares can also be given as a floating. Yes, support. So financial assets, tangible, intangible assets, all any things can be given as the security. Yes, definitely you're correct. They can be given as a charge for the floating charge. Is that clear, children? Have you understood clearly about the fixed charges and floating charges? So how I have to imagine charges means loans that I'm taking and security being given. If I'm giving a fixed security, my land and building, plant and machinery, then there's a fixed charge. I cannot sell it. I can only use it. If I'm giving a floating charge, means my raw material stock in the business that I'm running, I can use it in the ordinary course of business, and I can also sell them. Permitted to use means you can sell these goods. Now you will not keep sitting that now I've taken the loan, my Sketcher showroom will remain closed for 2 years because I've taken loan against these assets. If you close the business, then the bank and lender will be at more risk. Then that means this company is not doing well business. Please pay back our money. Then they will do crystallization of floating charges. And benefits of floating charges for the borrower. So there are no such benefits, the Hari Moruju. The only thing is whatever the capability and capacity of the company to give it as a charge, that is what is important. Okay. So had I been at your place and I'm a lender, I would enjoy floating charge more because you can go and use the, say, for example, somebody is running a grocery store, which I'll be explaining you in a while in crystallization. So now they have given all these biscuits, chips, and whatever stock, chocolates, raw materials, everything is secured against the loan that you have taken. Okay. So it says that this is a floating charge. So at times the lenders enjoy, okay, fine, tomorrow if they'll not pay us the money, so we'll take whole of the lien and control on the stock. So you get all these assets instead of the, and you sell them off and recover the money, or you take it at home and enjoy eating all these kind of things. So it is about depending upon the deed and agreement that they have made for creating a charge. All right. Crystallization of floating charges. So second topic has also been explained nicely, floating charges. Third topic is crystallization of floating charge. What is the meaning of crystallization? Here we are going to freeze the floating charge. Here we are going to convert the floating charge into fixed charge. So there are 3 to 4 cases in which the floating charge will become the fixed charge. Now you are running this departmental store. You excited me that, okay, ma'am, tomorrow, if you don't repay the money, all this stock of chocolates, chips, biscuits, everything is yours. You can sell them and you can recover your money. But say, for example, I have given you the loan of 1 crore rupees and I gave you a condition that feel free to sell off your assets, but your assets value should never fall below 80 lakh rupees. But you continued the sales and you continued selling the goods, and this value of the stock which is left is 50 lakh rupees. Now I got very scared because you have breached the terms and conditions. There was an agreement that you will not sell the money. What are the things under floating charges? Anushka Raj, these are the things that I'm telling you, beta. So these are the things, whatever assets the company is having, the current assets. What are current assets? Opening stock, closing stock, debtors. Even the debtors can be given as the security. All right. So if I have made a condition that the value of the stock should not go below 80 lakhs, and now here the value of the stock has gone below 80 lakhs, that means it has come to 50 lakhs. So can we say that there has been a breach of terms and condition? Now I, as a lender or a charge holder, I will get very insecure, and I will tell the company that, okay, now stop. Now you cannot make the charge as a floating charge. Now you cannot sell my goods because I have a control on them. Okay, they are my goods also. Why? I have an interest, I have a lien on them, right? So now if you breach any terms and conditions, the floating charge will get converted into fixed charge. First point is clear. When there is a breach of terms and conditions, or when the creditor enforces the security, the creditor wants that now I want my security back. I want to, you have failed to repay the money on due date. So again, 1st January, you have borrowed the money. 31st December was the due date to repay the money. On 31st December, if you have not repaid the money, no more floating charges. I want to enforce the security. Creditor is asking for his security back. They want to dispose because you have failed to repay the money. So now they want to take a lien or control on the security. Then also the floating charge gets fixed. It becomes freezed. Whatever the value is on that date, it will get valued and remain on that only. Creditors, the lender will decide how they have to dispose it of. Or the third condition can be when the company goes into liquidation. Then the charge will become a fixed charge. Now you're liquidating the company. You're running this departmental store. I was so happy you have all these cakes, ice creams, chocolates, everything that you're selling in your business, and the business is doing very well. Or the Sketches showroom, the shoes are coming, shoes are going, branded, new technologies, everything is coming. But now you're going into liquidation. You're winding up your business. Oh my God, what will happen to my 1 crore rupees? Please stop the floating charge. Convert the floating charge into fixed charge. Now you cannot sell it beyond. Once the lender has given the instruction of crystallization of floating charges, the company will have to stop and they cannot sell these stocks further. And what will be the value of the assets available on that date? Whatever the value is, the value of the assets on that date will become the fixed security for you. Say, for example, they were debtors of 1 lakh rupees and they were valued, although the loan was 50,000 rupees. But now I have taken your debtors of 1 lakh rupees because of the crystallization that happened. But the lender will recover their money and balance money will be given back to the company itself. So you don't have to go into much of the details about how the money happened and what happened with it. Like 1 crore was given, loan taken. There was a condition. I have just imposed this. These are just examples that I'm giving them, creating examples and giving. So 80 lakh, I was a condition imposed, but it went below. So you have reached the terms and conditions. You have not repaid the money on the due date, and the creditor can enforce the security, means they can ask for the security, they can ask for the goods. Or if the company is closing the business, I am at risk. You're closing the business, how will you repay my money? So I'm at risk, I want my security money back. I want the floating charge to become fixed. Or when the company goes into liquidation. So these are the 4 cases that you have to remember. When does the crystallization of a floating charge happens? So Anushka Raj, I just explained you, it depends upon the lender and the borrowing company, how they have to go and which kind of charge has to be fixed. All right. Praveen is saying something. Ma'am, floating charges involve more risk, definitely. Why do banks give loans to business? So answering of why will not be covered. These are just, we have. So how the charge is creating, let me make it very clear to you. You will not ask me how the charge is created. This chapter is not about creating charge. Why a bank is accepting will not be questioned. What we have to understand, there are 2 types of charges. One is fixed charge, one is floating charge. Still, bank has risk and not the guarantee. Okay, I'll explain you, Praveen, this point. But how the charge has been created, what is the responsibility of the company to get that charge register, to get that charge register? That is what chapter 6 tells you, registration of charges. Go and get your charge register with the ROC. That has huge complications, which I'm going to explain you in a while. But this is before going to understanding registration, we have to understand what is charge and these 2 types of charges. Okay. Now, if you're saying even if it is converted as fixed charge, then the company can recover 50 lakhs, right? But still bank has risk and all. So Praveen, when I have taken a loan of 50,000 rupees only, so 1 lakh debtors, if I have taken in my custody, I will recover my 50,000 and balance I will give back to the borrowing company. So bank's risk will always be covered. Don't worry about that. Okay, Bhavna, I'll repeat those two conditions. Ma'am, failing to repay is also breach. Definitely, Sanya, that is also a breach of contract. So that's why it says when the creditor enforces due to breach of terms and conditions. So it is also covered over there, but I tried to segregate so that you understand that any other breach apart from that, or you have failed to repay the money, both are the same ones. All right. I think Bhavna, your point is also now covered. Company goes into liquidation means when the company goes into winding up, they're closing their business. So now, Karan, just give me 1 minute. I'll ask you the question. So the company is going to liquidation. So I am a lender. I am very worried that I have given loan to this organization and they're closing their business only. How will I recover my money? So then also the crystallization of floating charge will happen. All right. Yes, Karan Kumar, you want to ask something? Yes, Karan, you can speak.
Ma'am, as you said that the property which we give to the bank as a security, we can't sell it. Can bank has right to say that until you didn't give my full amount, you can't use, and I will use that asset.
All right. So, Karan, my question goes back to you. Why would banks sell the amount or the property which I have given as a security? Why would the bank want to sell it?
Bank doesn't want to sell it. Bank ask for use it.
Bank asked you, what are you saying? You can speak in
Until I
Hindi if
didn't
you're
pay.
comfortable. You can speak in Hindi. No worry in that. Yeah.
Until I didn't pay the full amount,
Yes,
bank says
yes. Then bank can sell my house. Then bank can sell the property. That is what the charge chapter tells
I'm
you.
not asking for sell. I'm not asking for selling. I'm asking for using it.
I'm asking for?
Can bank say using it? Using that
Yes,
asset.
yes, yes. That is bank's discretion whether to use it or to sell.
Okay.
Yes, Pooja.
Ma'am, I want to ask about if the property which is on which charge has been created, if that property was is destroyed, then what will happen?
Okay, I'll answer you this in a while. Just give me a few minutes. I'll get back to you, Pooja, on the same question. It's little deviated from the topic, but I'll answer you that. Okay, yes, Hardik.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, in case of a liquidation of the company, the floating charge terms and conditions are decided by the charge holder and the borrower, or the resolutional professional who is appointed, he will decide.
Okay. So wherever such conditions of liquidation are happening, obviously the deed and the document that the charge holder has made among themselves will definitely be considered. But this crystallization is generally coming from the side of the lender. He is worried. That's why he's asking for the charge to be converted into fixed charges. Company will not be bothered. Na? It is the disturbance which is coming in the mind of the lender because they feel unsecured.
So,
All right.
ma'am, the resolution professional will do nothing in case of floating charge. It is between the
Professional will always have to take a call because liquidator will be appointed now. So in his presence only all these things will be taken care. But the decision will be of the lending company. It is coming from their side.
Okay.
Definitely, the liquidator will have to take a call on this.
Okay, ma'am. He will act as an arbitrator, like.
Yes, yes,
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you.
yes. Okay. And Pooja, your question, you can write it down in the query pad once because I will be taking up that topic and then you will understand. All right, Pooja, you can just write it down in the chat box or the query pad. What are the limits that the companies can offer fixed and floating charges? Not a part of your this thing, Lahari. You don't have to look into the limits. But the only thing important is that what is a fixed charge and what is a floating charge. Avinash is asking if the company makes a default, lender is free to trade the assets on. Yes, definitely, Avinash. Then he can either sell the assets or utilize the assets. Then the assets become there. Because, say, for example, Avinash, you have taken money from me and you have given your laptop to me. Now, either you repay my money or I'm going to take this access to the laptop. That is what the lien word in itself explains. All right. Same answer goes to you, Shivam. You're asking, can the assets be sold in case the company defaults? Definitely, they can either sell them or they can use them. So let's take a small break over here. Hypothecation. Why do you want to understand Hardik hypothecation? We already have a lot of syllabus to be covered. So this is again something different, but I'll still try to explain you at the end. Let's take a small break and then we'll continue further. All right, welcome back, students. I hope you have gone through the topics from the study also. I'll just show it to all of you over here from here as well. So yes, Pooja, have you written down your point? Because I told you I'll be explaining you this point and then we'll be moving ahead. So children, let me just tell you one very important thing. Whenever such kind of securities are being given to the bank, whenever company is giving certain kind of securities, ma'am, when crystallization happens, only the creditors have to be. Yes, Sana, definitely the creditors have to be part of it. Then only other creditors, not no, only the creditor to whom the money has to be made will be taken in consideration. Okay. And Sanya, how the other creditors are concerned about that I'll make you understand under section 78 and 79. Okay, now covering those points, Hardik, your hypothecation points and what Pooja was asking. So whenever bank is giving you loan and amount, it's a very huge kind of formalities that are involved over here, children. So you are giving your in Hindi you call it अपने assets को गिरवी रखवाना, mortgage करवाना means गिरवी रखवाना. You're giving your properties or you're giving your other assets. Now the title deeds I already explained you, they're in the hand of the banker when you have given bank has given you a loan. And tomorrow, if any such kind of thing happens, your property gets destroyed or it's burned. So there is another. Now, this is not. This is a question that you have asked. That's why I'm explaining. But this is not part of your chapter. Otherwise, so there's certain insurance cover that the bank takes from the company. So company will say that, say, for example, company's assets are over there in Bombay. And against those property in Bombay, they have taken certain insurance that tomorrow if fire catches or any mishappenings happen with our buildings and properties, it is insured. So now that insurance cover will be hypothecated in favor of bank. Means you're trying to hypothecate it, you're trying to do an endorsement that tomorrow if this property is no longer over there, so whatever insurance that the company was supposed to get, that insurance will directly go to the bank considering the amount of loan that the bank has given to the company. All right. So that is how the hypothecation and all these kind of things happen. But since you have asked about this, so I've explained you, but you don't have to go into so much of details because already Companies Act 2013 is very, very huge for you children to cover. Okay. And CA the syllabus is always anyways huge. So you don't have to go into that. Okay, good. I'm glad Hardik and Pooja, you have understood it. All right. So this is your chapter of charge from study material also. See how beautifully pictures have been made. Today I'm going to show you a very interesting site at BOS Knowledge Portal also, how beautifully a summarized form of things Institute has made up for you. So I'll just show it to you in a while, but first let us just see the detailed study material. All these points have been covered, the definition of charge. So here is your fixed and floating charges. I just wanted to take up certain illustrations from here so that the topic is crystal clear to all my students. Pearl Electronics has raised a term loan of 10 lakh from Everest Commercial Bank Limited against the security of office building. So if I have given the security of office building, have I given a fixed charge or I have given a floating charge? Tell me, children. When I'm giving a office building, it is a fixed or a floating charge? How many of you say floating charge? Excellent. It's a fixed charge. In fact, it's a kind of a mortgage. Excellent. All of you are correct. Company will create a charge and it will be a fixed charge. Company can sell this particular office building by either repaying. Now, can the company sell this office building? There are two things, either by repaying the borrowed amount or after seeking the permission of the charge holder, that is lender bank. So now how the permission is given is, in case of a fixed charge, company A has taken a loan. Now they have given the security of office building, this Pearl Electronics Limited. Now tomorrow, if permission is taken from the bank and they allow me to sell this property, this building to company B, then company B will go and get a fresh registration in their name for this charge. Because bank's money has to be repaid. You cannot say that now I've sold the property. I'm sorry, bank, I don't have my property to repay your loan. And you only said that, please, ma'am, you told us after taking permission. So we went to bank. Bank gave us the permission and we sold the house. So anyways, my dear children, either you will repay the bank borrowed amount, or if you have taken the permission, then that company B will take the registration of charge on their name. So whenever in case of a fixed charge, the office building or properties which has a charge are sold to another person, So they are never sold free of charge. That means the other person will now have to make the payment. But this is not at all the case of floating charge. In floating charge, you're selling the goods freely. You will not say that, ma'am, I have given the Sketches showroom or the departmental store biscuits packet. A customer came. I told them that, see, this all stock has been created a charge in favor of bank. Now I'm selling these biscuits to Mr. A. Mr. A will pay the money to the bank now because he has those assets in their hand. Have you ever heard this? Have you ever purchased the goods and the person tells you in the raw material and stock that now you will pay my money to the bank? It never happens. So floating charge, you are getting the things free of charge. The responsibility of clearing of the charge is not on the customer's hand. The good title is passed to the buyer. The innocent buyer is not going to pay the money to the bank. But in case of fixed charge, if you have taken the permission, then they will have to pay the money. So this is another point of difference, which is important point, which I want to tell you, that in floating charge, you are allowed to, I told you fixed charge, you can only use, you cannot sell. If you sell, company B will now get a fresh registration. They will pay the money. For floating charge, you can either sell or use the goods in the ordinary course of business, and you never pass the charge to the buyer. Okay. There is a retail showroom in Lajpat Nagar, New Delhi, and the number of articles, clothes, apparels, footwears, kitchen items. The owner has borrowed against the security of these items. So owner said that all those who were asking how the deeds are happening, so whatever agreements that the lender and the borrowing company are doing, they can either create a fixed charge or floating charge. So the owner of the showroom have borrowed against the security of all these goods. Now he can still sell and deal them in the ordinary course of business. The buyer will get the items free of charge. This is what I just explained you. But you will not say that I have sold these goods to the customer. Now he will go and pay the bank money. It will not happen. Yes, Bhavnagar, definitely. That is good. Fixed assets on the fixed charge and floating are on the goods, that is stock. Lahari Maruju is asking, in case of a fixed charge, if company A gets the permission to sell the assets to company B, will be liable to Lahari Maruju. If company A has not repaid the loan, then yes, company B will take the charge on his head. They will go and file an application to the ROC under section 77, 78, 79. All that procedure will be happening. And now company B will have to repay the loan. Bank's loan has to be repaid. That is what is important. But this is not the case of floating charge. In floating charge, you can sell off the assets easily. All right. Smart Shoes Limited manufacture leather goods. The raw material in form of leather, which is the subject matter of floating charge, may be used by the company to manufacture the leather goods without seeking the permission. So here you tell me what kind of charge is created in example 3. It's a floating charge because the raw material has been given as a security. So now for converting this raw material into finished goods, do I need to take the permission from the lender? Yes or no? For converting the raw material into finished goods in a floating charge, very good. All of you have answered it correctly. No, ma'am, we don't need the permission of the lender. And this is the case how the crystallization happens. So if the company has failed to repay the money, breach of terms and condition, or the company goes into liquidation, then the floating charge becomes the fixed charge. Now, this is what I wanted to explain you. A floating charge remains dormant until it becomes fixed or crystallizes. What is the meaning of dormant? Dormant company, sleeping company means inactive. So here, this charge was inactive, means the company's lender is quiet about this. Lender is saying, okay, fine, this is a good company which has borrowed money. It is doing business. Tomorrow it will repay my loan. I'm not worried. But the moment it becomes a fixed charge, when does it becomes fixed? Quickly tell me. What are the cases when the floating charge becomes fixed? Why do I need to make it fixed? Is there any need to make it fixed? Excellent, ma'am. If there is any breach of terms and condition, if the company is going to liquidation, when the creditor enforces the security, means the creditor want their security back. They are feeling unsecured. Why they're feeling unsecured? Because either you're going to liquidation or you're breaching the terms and conditions. You're not having good relationships with the borrowing company. Then the lender might enforce the security. He might ask for the security for the loan amount that he has given to you. Excellent. All of you have answered it correctly. In these cases, the company will get the Ibrahim Shah. Who is this? Aisha, Nanda Goel, Pallavi, all of you correct. Children, good. Irambi, Dilip, Tambeshwari. Repayment time is going on and the company not paid. Yes. Good, and very good, Pooja. Tambeshwari, that's correct. So now till that time, till the fixing was not happening, this charge was dormant. Now this charge has become active. Okay, now this charge, it says on crystallization, the securities becomes fixed and they are available for realization. So say, for example, I am a bank. Manvi is the company. Manvi Limited is the company which has borrowed loan from me. Now Manvi has breached the conditions. So Harleen ma'am, the lender will say, stop. Now your floating charge will not be used. So now all the assets of Manvi Limited will become fixed and they're available for realization, means I can come and I can pick up all the assets from the shop and I can take them. I can sell them off or I can utilize it whatever way I do so that the borrowed money is repaid. Please make sure whatever the borrowed money is to be recovered, you cannot recover over and above. You cannot say that this Manvi Limited company was having nice Switzerland foreign chocolates and I got tempted. So although the amount was 1 lakh, but I've taken 2 lakh amount of chocolates from this shop. So you cannot, you have to just recover the amount which was borrowed from that. All right. Crystallization of floating charges may occur when the terms have been violated or the company ceases to continue the business. See, here again, he's changing the term. Another third thing, if they stop continuing the business or they go into liquidation or the creditors enforces the security. So these 4 points you have to learn, which are given over here. That is when the crystallization of charges happen. Let's do example number 4. Prism Limited has taken a loan from ABC Bank on the security of its stock. Now they want to, failing to repay the security of interest. So what will happen if they fail to repay the security or they're entering into liquidation? The floating charge will become a fixed charge. And once this floating has become a fixed charge, stock can neither be sold nor used by the company in its business operation. You will not touch it. Now that stock is lying over there, the company, the lender will come and either recover the money from it or they will take it. Okay. It is a benefit of company A of not repaying the amount on Lohari Moruju. Can you speak and ask what you're writing? I did not understand your question. You're saying then it is a benefit of company A of not repaying the amount. What kind of benefit you're giving? It is the problematic thing for company B if you're not repaying the loan. So there is no benefit of company A in that. Company A will have to convert the stock into converting into floating charge into fixed charge. Thank you so much, Hardik. I just carried away with the beautiful thought that you have written. He has written that I'm enjoying the session because you put so much effort. Thank you so much, Hardik. And I hope, Lahari Maruju, you have understood. If you want to ask something, you can unmute and speak to me. Lender informs the buyer that the charge, definitely Nanda Goyal, lender will only say that now we want to crystallize the charge. Okay, so why will I tell you if I'm a company, I'm going into liquidation, why would I try to tell you that please convert my charge into fixed charge? Now, so definitely, Lahari, I think this is what you're trying to understand. Then it will be difficult thing for the company A because now my charge will become fixed. So it is not a beneficial thing. I have given you floating charge. Now I have been asked to stop the sale of this goods. They have been converted into a fixed charge. All right. I hope no doubt still here now. We have clearly understood fixed and floating charge. Now let us understand what is my duty under section 77. Anyone has any doubts still here, you can ask me. I also plan to cover certain questions with you today and also have plans to show you certain forms. Okay, Tambeshwari wants to speak. Yes, Tambeshwari.
Yes, ma'am. I am only clarification of my concept. Ma'am, in this case of permission permission take by the bank, in this case it is not a free from charges, but in this case when time is completed of the charges after I am sale, it is a free from charges, right?
Absolutely
Okay.
correct. Absolutely correct. Once you have repaid the money, it's free from charge. You can freely sell it. Good.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Pooja, you want to speak something?
Ma'am, I want to ask, ma'am, if the asset is uninsured, then can the company take another asset at the time of repayment?
Bank will never allow you to give them the assets which are not insured. So I told you before explaining this point that banks, it's a huge responsibility if they're giving a loan. If HDFC Bank, you're giving a loan of 1 crore, they will first make insured that they are covered with more than 1 crore of the money. That is more than the value of security. So if it's not insured, the bank will only not give you the eligibility. All right?
Ma'am, understood. But if company take loan from someone, another, then, ma'am, or
Then also they'll make sure, see, the lender party will always be covering their factor first now. So if I am giving you the money, say for example, if I'm giving you the money, so I will tell you, Pooja, what are you going to give me as a security? So I will cover my security first. Why, whatever way I covered it, whether it's an insurance or an uninsured thing, I will make sure that my security is covered. Okay. So you don't have to be much bothered that how the bank is going to cover the security. What you have to understand is that the bank security has to be covered.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Anushka Raj.
Ma'am, am I
Yes.
audible?
Yes, you are.
Ma'am, like floating charges is created on asset like raw material, stock in trade and debtor. Let us assume for the time कि मैम raw material सारी सेल कर दिया कंपनी ने, तो फिर मैम अब floating charges किस पे applicable होगी?
So company cannot sell it below the limit that they have decided. So children, there is a document which is made between the company and the lender. You cannot just, you have taken the money from another company and now you're doing whatever you wanted to do. There are certain terms and conditions. Remember the term contract. So there is a contract which the company has entered with the lender, and there's certain fixed terms and conditions that they have to follow, even if there is a floating charge. Like, for example, I explained you that the 1 crore loan was taken, and in my example, we have fixed the amount of 80 lakhs. The moment it fell below 80 lakhs, it reached 50 lakh, the lender company will crystallize. So all these duties have to be considered. All these terms and conditions of the loan have to be taken into consideration. All right. Okay. So I'm glad all your doubts related to fixed and floating charges are covered. Now let's move ahead to section 77, registration of charges. So I have already told you whose duty it is to register the charge. It is the bank who will come and register the charge. Okay, Chetna is asking something, you converted the amount. Definitely, Chetna, I hope your point is also very well answered, because that is the agreement will decide between the company and the lender. So it cannot go beyond that amount, okay? Okay, glad, Neeru, no doubts. I'm glad. Free of charge, Riddhi is asking. Free of charge means, that means it is free from now. It is not having any more liability on it. Means you have repaid the money for which the loan was taken. Very good, Pallavi, Ritika Gupta, Hardik, all of you are correct. It is the company's responsibility. It is the duty of every company which is giving the security to get this charge registered with the ROC. To register the charge signed by the company and the charge holder. So there is a document, children. I was talking about this document. Whenever I've borrowed the money from the loan, whenever I've borrowed money as a loan from the bank, my company and the bank will sign a document, an instrument. All right, an instrument will be made, means a document or a deed, an agreement will be made. And this agreement, along with the other particulars of the charge, have to be filed with ROC, that is Registrar of Companies, in two different forms. Form number CHG1 for any assets, for any money borrowed other than debentures, and for debentures specifically CHG9 is used. What is the meaning of this, ma'am? So confusing, two forms together we are doing. So the borrowing company has to register, yes, Irambi Shah, that's absolutely correct. Borrowing company will have to register the charge. What is this, within India or outside India? I have not explained you. I will explain you this in a while. Right now, I'm just talking about two things. Number one, borrowing company will register the charges, and there is an agreement which is made between the company and the charge holder that also has to be filed along with the form number CHG1 is used. CHG9 form is used when you're raising money through debentures, then CHG9 form is used. When you're raising money in any other way other than debentures, then CHG1 form is used. So these are similar kind of forms which has to be filed with the ROC for security which you have given for the charge which has been created. When debentures against the debentures charge is created, then you use CHG 9 form. And which form, children, you use when the charge is created for any borrowings other than debentures? Which form will be used? So what will happen? How the story will go by? Borrowing company will go and give this form CHG1. All my students have answered it correctly. Other than debentures, it is CHG1. For debentures, it is CHG9. So I'm going to show you one form only in the class, that is CHG1. So for any other borrowings other than debentures is CHG1, and for debentures is CHG9. So when a company files both these forms, now CHG1 or CHG9, either of them, whatever is the borrowing, then ROC will issue them the certificate in the form. Anyone knows the form in which the ROC is going to give them the certificate of registration? CHG2. So CHG1 or CHG9 will be given by the company, and ROC is going to give them CHG2 form, which is the certification of the registration that your charge has been registered, and that form is the conclusive evidence that this charge has complied, or the company has made all the compliances under section 77 to 79, and that will be a conclusive evidence that the charge has been registered with the ROC. Is that clear? Now, the charge which needs to be registered can be within India or outside India. Now I'm going to tell you. So there can be the property of the company against which loan is taken. It can be the property which is in Delhi, and there is another property which is in USA. So Reliance is taking loan from bank, and they're having property in Delhi and another properties in USA as well as Dubai. They are having different kind of properties. You all know they have huge properties in different countries also. So now they can take loan against the property which is in India also, and which is outside India also. Now the loan which has been taken for the charge can be created against the property which is within India. So Reliance can borrow the money against Delhi property also. Those who are asking questions, just for a minute, please don't ask questions. Just listen what I'm trying to tell you, and I'll explain you each and every point. But right now, just let's stay here. CHG2 is a different form, Rachna. I'll explain you when we go to that point, okay? So let's stay on this page only. As of now, just grab the information which I'm telling you, and then I'll give you time for questions, okay? So the charge can be created within India or the property which is in US or Dubai. Against that also, I can give them as a security. It can be a partial in India or partial outside India also. There is a car which is in India and the property in Dubai. Both of them has been secured against the same loan. That can also be happened. The property or assets which are situated within India or outside India, basically the signing of the document has to be done, which I'll make you understand how these signatures have to be given. So whatever the properties in India, how the document has to be signed, and whatever the properties are situated outside India, a different way of signing is given for these properties. All right. So the charge will be created on tangible assets such as land, building, and machinery, or even the intangible assets such as copyright, trademark, or financial assets like investment in shares and debentures. All those who were asking, ma'am, can we give the shares and debentures? So here comes your crystal clear answers. For financial assets like investment in shares and debentures can also be given as a security. Okay. So here we are trying to understand all these charges which has been created. First of all, it is the duty of the company to register the charge. Charge can be against the property which is inside India or outside India. Charge can be against the tangible or otherwise. The word is or otherwise. Now comes your interpretation of statutes in picture. What is the meaning of tangible or otherwise? When the word or otherwise is used, means it's very broad. Kuch bhi include kar lo, or otherwise. Anything can be included. Intangible, financial assets, all the kind of assets. Okay. So tangible, movable, visible, or otherwise. Intangible, goodwill, trademarks, copyrights, financial assets, shares, debentures, anything. So it becomes a broader definition of the assets that can be given as a security. Clear? Three things are clear. Company of the duty to register the charge. Property can be inside India or outside India. And it can be tangible or intangible or financial assets. I've broken down it in the points written over there also. Along with the document that you and me are signing, I'm the charge holder, I'm the banker, and you are the company, borrowing company, we have signed a document. That form also has to be registered with the ROC. In what form? In CHG1 for other than debentures and CHG9 for debentures. On payment of such fees and manner as may be prescribed with the registrar within 30 days of its creation. Very, very important point. So this is the fourth important point, that is within how many days the charge has to be registered with ROC within 30 days. So Reliance takes loan from bank on 1st January 2023 of rupees 1 crore. So now who will register from HDFC Bank? So under section 77, first of all, tell me who will go for the registration, Reliance or HDFC Bank? Whose duty it is to get the charge registered against its property in Dubai? Can we take charge against the property in Dubai? Yes, ma'am. You just told us property can be in India or outside. So under section 77, Reliance will go and get this charge register with ROC in form number. It's not debenture, so it's any other form of borrowing. CHG1 form by 31st January 2023. So within 30 days, 1st January from the creation, within 30 days. So by 30th January 2023, it's the responsibility of Reliance to go and get this charge registered with ROC. And all those who are answering correct points, Sukhveer, Pallavi, Abhishek, Neeru, Ritika, Lahari, Moruju, Avinash, great. All of you are writing it down correctly. Good. Rachna, Nandana, Nanda, Goel, Kushi, Pallavi, Sanya, correct. All right. So within 30 days, ROC, Reliance will go and get this charge registered. I hope this much things are clear to everyone till now. Now comes your verification of instrument. Now law says that, ma'am, you told us this property is in Dubai. Reliance have this property in Dubai. How will the ROC come to know that whether this property, whether verification has to be done? Na? So every instrument creating or modifying any charge is required to be filed with the registrar shall be verified. Every document has to be verified. Where the instrument relates to the property situated outside India, verification has to be done for that also. And if the property is situated inside India, verification has to be done for that also. So the property can be, how will you make your notes? Company will register to go to ROC in CHG1 or CHG9 within 30 days of the property situated, can be in India or outside India. So where you write property inside India, verification has to be done by so and so. When the property is situated outside India, verification has to be done by so and so. So along with the document, Abhishek Mishra and Rachna are still worried of CHG2. Okay. But now she has written super clear, ma'am. I'm feeling it very easy. So great, great. Don't worry about CHG2. I'll explain you. Don't worry. No difference between in India or outside India in charge. Tambeshwari, yes, there is no difference, but I will explain you how the verification document will go by. Yes, Hardik, it should be 31st January only because 30 days will be counted from 1st January. So by 31st January, we'll convert it into 30 days. That's correct. Okay. So where the instrument, where the property which is situated outside India, so now law says, now listen here carefully, no chatting, listen. So duty to register the charges, section 77, we are understanding. So first 5 points I told you. Now, along with this verification, along with this charge document that we have created between the lender and borrowing company, this property which is situated outside India or inside India has to be verified. So along with that document CHG 1 and 9, you will also attach a certificate that this is the property which is situated in Dubai. So Reliance, the property which is situated in Dubai, Reliance will get it signed either under the seal of the company. So company seal will be there, Reliance name will be there. So it is a verified property situated outside India. Or the director or company secretary will sign. Or the director will sign, or the company secretary, Reliance, of the company secretary of Reliance will sign, or an authorized person of the charge holder. Now, this thing bothered the students over here, so just leave it for a while. Or under the hand of some other person other than the company who is entrusted in this charge. So any other person who has been authorized, any other person who is entrusted in this mortgage or charge can sign it. So the property which is situated outside India, law says it is not a lot of attention not to be taken. Either put a company seal or director or the CS of the company will sign, or anyone can sign. Whosoever is entrusted in this mortgage or charge, they can sign it and send it to us. We will register the charge. But where the property is situated India, whether wholly or partly, I told you wholly or partly, car is in India, property which is given in Dubai. So either wholly or partly. So the certificate has to be given verified by the director or company secretary or an authorized person of the charge holder. Now, this is what bothered the students over here, ma'am. What is this authorized person of charge holder? Company is going and getting this thing registered. Why this authorized person of charge holder is coming? Do you have this doubt in your mind? This kind of doubt comes in your mind? This doubt used to come in my mind as well. ROC saying, yes, Nanda Goel, that's correct, which is the form given by the ROC. In between word and has to come in. B. Sai Kiran Kumar, what are you writing? Directors and yes, anyone who is interested will sign. He will appoint the person to sign. Yes, Hardik, he will definitely appoint a person, but what is the need? Why the charge holder is coming in between? It is the duty of company to get it filed. Maybe a nominee, Ritika Gupta is saying. Okay, all of you are incorrect. Listen to me, because I have not told you about section 78. That's why you can. So what happened is, section 77 will tell us that it is the duty of the company to register the charges. But section 78 tells us that if company fails to register the charge, then charge holder will himself get the charge registered. So when the charge holder is getting the charge registered, in that very case, the authorized person of the charge holder will be signed. Okay, so otherwise the primary liability is of the company to get the charge registered. So who are signing? Director or company secretary in case of the property situated in India. If the property is outside India, then either a common seal can also be put or any person who is entrusted. But if the charge holder is getting it registered, then the authorized person of the charge holder can also sign it. Is it clear? Okay. Yes, he's an independent person, so there is no fraud, but the charge holder steps in only when the charge holder is getting it registered. Otherwise, the company is going to get this registered under section 77. Clear ho gaya sabko? Everyone is clear about this point? Let's move ahead. Wait, Hardik, wait. It's a very huge section 77. Let me complete it and then I'll give you chance for queries. Okay, we have to do certain questions also. Duty to register charges section. Now, this is rule 3, which I'm going to explain you. So all these details, how the registration are happening, what is the extension of time, all this is given under rule 3, extension of the time limit. Now, I told you that within 30 days, 1st January, you created the charge. By 31st January, you have to got the charge registered. Okay. Which C point you want me to explain, Nanda Goel? Point number C. So under the hand of some other person other than the company who is entrusted. So this is the independent person, Nanda, who can sign it. So it says there is another party, whosoever is entrusted. They have given little freedom to the property situated outside. So anyone can sign it and send it. That is what they're trying to tell you. But that person should be entrusted in the mortgage or charge. Then that's why only they're signing. Okay. So just signing part, you can just remember and learn what is written over there. Don't go into much of details. No, Ridhi, charge holder, section 78, I'll explain. Okay, good, Neeru, it's clear then. That's great. Nanda, great, you have understood. Good. So the original period within which the charge needs to be registered within the creation of charge is 30 days. So can this time period be extended? Let us understand there are certain provisions The charge which was created before 2nd November 2018, these are the provisions to be followed. For any charge created on or after 2nd November 2018, these are the provisions to be followed, because certain changes happened on 2nd November 2018. On 2nd November 2018, a government law, company law took decision that now the number of days for extension will be 60 days and not 300 days. But let me just explain you point number this first, because this is where we are actually existing now, because we are in the phase of after 2nd November 2018. So what does 2nd November 2018 tells you? That company Reliance has borrowed money from HDFC Bank, security has been given to HDFC Bank, property which is situated in Dubai, it has been signed, verification has been done. Now CHG1 form has to be filed within 30 days with the registrar after paying the normal fees. It was written along with the fees, whatever fees they have said, that will be paid and the document will be filed within 30 days. Clear, everyone? Everyone has to listen carefully. You will not raise your hands and type the chat box because you will not understand them. Okay. Now, if it did not registered within first 30 days, Reliance forgot. They were very busy. They were having weddings all around. So they forgot to get this charge registered. So now 30 days have passed. So law says, okay, don't worry. I give you another 30 days. So in the next 30 days, come and get your charge registered by paying the additional fees. Point number one, within 30 days, pay the normal fees and get yourself registered. If you forgot, it was a wedding season in your house, you forgot it, now take another 30 days and come with the additional fees. So what does it actually mean? Law is giving you 60 days from the creation of charge. So actually it is not directly giving you 60 days. It has broken up that first 30 days and the extended 30 days. So actually law has given you 60 days from the date of creation that feel free, but you have to pay additional fees when you're coming in the next 30 days. Two concepts are clear. First, 30 days mein jao. Fail to go in 30 days, go in next 30 days with additional fees, or go in the first 60 days with the additional fees from the creation of charge. They are still busy. They again forgot to get it registered. So not registered in the next 30 days. I think example would be more better now. 1st January, then get it registered with 31st January. Now you keep counting 30 days. So if 28 days and first 2nd March. So by 2nd March, another 30 days. So hereby, if not registered in next 30 days also, then extension of further 60 days is given after paying ad valorem fees. What is this ad valorem fees? Ad valorem fees means the fees which is calculated on the basis of value of the loan taken. Like your GST is calculated when you eat, have a cup of coffee at Starbucks, the GST is charged on the amount of charges that you have paid for the coffee. Say, for example, 300 rupees you have paid for the coffee, 18% of 300 rupees. So that will be the GST. If you have taken another Java Choco Chip also and another big sandwiches also, so if your bill has come to 1,000, then you pay 18% on 1,000. So that is 180. So whatever is the value of the loan that you have taken, on that value, the percentage of the fees will be calculated. That is the meaning of ad valorem fees. So first you get yourself registered within 30 days, pay the normal fees. You forgot in 30 days, another 30 days, pay the additional fees. You forgot in those 30 days also. My God, 60 days have happened. You have created a charge. You forgot. Now come in next 60 days and get yourself registered after paying the ad valorem fees. Everyone clear on the charge created on and after 2nd November. So if after 2nd November any loan has 2018, any loan has been taken, this is the policy that you have to follow. You have to learn it. You have to understand it. Don't ask me why 30 days and why 60 days. That is Companies Act. Provisions have been made. You'll have to talk to the department for that. Yes. Who is writing in the chat box? Ma'am, repeat the meaning of ad valorem. Rate basis. Yes, Pooja, absolutely correct. It is on the rate basis. It is on the percentage basis. Very good. So Bhavna, ad valorem fees means the fees will be charged on the basis of value of loan. If your value of loan is 1 lakh, percentage will be given on that. If the value of loan is 10 lakh, the same percentage applied on 10 lakh. So whatever value that they have decided, it is basically on the basis of percentage basis, the fees will be charged. Okay. So now for the charge which was taken before 2nd November 2018, first what was happening? 30 days of creation, the charge was to be registered. If they were not registering, they were giving them additional 270 days. So it says register yourself within 300 days of creation of payment means additional 270 days were given. Either register yourself in first 30 days. If you forgot, then you have the time to register yourself within 300 days from the date of creation. Zaruri hai ye pata hona. From the date of creation, it is saying, it is not saying extended 300 days. It is saying 300 days from the date of creation. So what are the additional days? 270 days by paying additional fees. It's still not registered in 300 days. It says, please register yourself within 6 months. On 2nd November 2018, still your charge is standing over there. 6 months time period is given to you. Pay additional fees. Different fees for different class of companies. No, ma'am, we don't have to learn the fees. Ma'am, do we need to learn what is ad valorem fees? No. Do we need to know what is the fees to be paid? No. So what you have to learn is these number of days. All right. So the charge created before 2nd November 2018. Yes, Anushka Raj, the percentage is fixed and the ad valorem. Okay. It keep changes on the basis of value of the loan taken. So before 2nd November 2018, 30 days. No 30 days, 300 days. If not 300 days, 6 months time period is given. What are we actually doing now after 2nd November 2018? 30 days. No additional 30 days. No additional 60 days ad valorem fees. This is what you have to remember and you have to learn, read it, understand it, and then ask me the doubts after the break. But before that, procedure for extension of time limited, company will make the, how this extension of time limit will be given, company will make the application to the registrar in what form? CHG 9 if debentures, other than that for CHG 1 form. The said application needs to be supported by a declaration will be given signed by company secretary or director that such filing will not affect the rights of any intervening creditors of the company. Now, when this extension will be given, declaration has to be filed with the company, which is signed by CS or director, that this delay in registering the forms is not affecting my creditors. So HDFC Bank or the lender or the other creditors are not being affected even if you are doing delay in the extension. This declaration has to be taken. So Reliance will go to HDFC Bank. They will get the declaration signed by CS or director of the company that, okay, fine, you are not getting adversely affected since because we have delayed. Then only if this declaration is given, then only the ROC will proceed further for allowing the extension of time period for the registration. Okay, now your CHG2 is going to start, but since we have already done so much, first you read that, relax, understand, and then I'm going to do CHG2 with you. Okay. If a company A sold the asset of fixed charge, then the company B will be liable to repay related to fixed charge. Then it is a benefit of company A for not repaying. Okay, Lahari Maruju. Now I understood your question. So if company A has given the charge for the asset, so there will be certain agreement company B. Why will the company B pay? What benefit the company B A is going to get? Company A might have repaid the money or given some additional money to company B for that, right? So, or company A has not got the money while selling the assets. The entire money of repayment has to be given to the bank. All right. So there is not such any benefit or loss which is happening. Yes, Nanda Goel cannot be sold because it contains encumbrances. But one point we have understood with the permission, Section 79 will make it clear. Don't worry. 300 will start after 30 days. Bhavna Garg, 300 days will start after 30 days. No, it is 300 days from the date of creation. So after 30 days, you have 270 days. Okay, Lahari Maruju says, okay, thank you, understood. So glad you have understood. Okay, let's take a small break here, children. Need to have some water and then we'll continue the session. All right, students, welcome back. Before we proceed further, anyone has any doubts? Yes, Hardik.
Ma'am, I have a small clarification needed. Ma'am, in the charge, there it is written that to register the particulars of charge, it should be signed by the company and the charge holder. Ma'am, the company is an artificial person, it cannot charge. So, ma'am, whether the incorporation rule of a seal, if there is a seal, then a seal will be there, or if no seal, then two directors or one director or one company secretary. Will this rule prevail?
Definitely. So
Am
that
I
is
correct?
what it means. Yes, you are absolutely correct. And also the second provision tells you that either company secretary or director can sign.
Okay.
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 Okay. So somehow I'm not able to connect with the students at the admin portal. Manish sir. Yeah. Yeah. So I think no more doubts. Let's proceed further. So now we're going to understand what is CHG2 form. You want to see the forms first, or you want me to proceed further first? Let me show you CHG1 form since we have spoken about it. So all these forms can be downloaded from the website, MCA website. So CAG1 form is here in front of you. This is how this form actually looks like. This is the application for creation, registration, creation, modification, other than those related to debentures. Why it is saying other than those related to debentures? Because so when you'll open CHG9, it will be written application for registration, creation, or modification of charges related to debentures. Yes, including the particulars of modification. Now, this word modification is being used repetitively. So in a while, I'm going to explain you CHG2 and CHG3. There you will understand this word modification. Okay. So if you'll just click on the button, see, I clicked on the button, the section and the rules. So what is the law governing this e-form? So section 77, again, what we have just studied, extension of time limit, all these time limits are written over there. You have to follow where the charge is registered. A certificate will be issued by the ROC. This certificate which the ROC is going to issue you back is CHG2 form. Okay, then CHG is section 78, 79. All those we'll be studying in these chapters. All these provisions have to be followed. And this is rule 3, which is mentioning about CHG1 and CH9. Again, that is what we have studied. Here are the instructions, how the form has to be filled. The corporate identity number, registration number of the company will be given. There is a pre-fill button, which you will click. System automatically displays your registration number, RO, office address, name after you have filled the SIN number. Remember SIN number, in which chapter you have studied about corporate identification number? When you were studying about the incorporation of company. There you learn once the company is incorporated, a separate SIN number is given. This form is for the registration, the charge ID of the charge to be modified. So again, I told you modification. We are going to understand whether the applicant is the field for the purpose, all these kind of details. You can see how the form has to be filled. Nobody is going to ask you in the exam how the form has to be filled, but since we are studying about it, so it creates a lot of curiosity how this form actually looks like. So the amount secured by the charge in words and the amount, all these particulars of the terms and conditions of the charges. I told you, all these terms and conditions, what have been decided between the lender. It's not very easy. We are just studying few concepts over here, but it is a huge, lengthy thing which goes between the company and the lender. Date of creating the charge modification. Why these dates are important? Because within the 30 days, the filing has to be done. Otherwise, extension. For extension, you have to take a declaration. So here the declaration is mandatory. I am authorized by the board of directors, or further I declare. So whosoever is giving the declaration, all these declarations have to be signed. And if this is for the delay beyond, see here it is written. I was telling you that if there is any delay, then the declaration has to be taken. So here you can read it out. This checkbox is selected in case there is any delay in filing beyond 30 days. Then director or CS will give a declaration that, okay, fine, the other creditors are not getting any problematic thing because of this extension. to be digitally signed, then all these signatures they have told you and shown you. All right. So this is how your form number CHG1 looks like. Similar is the form number CHG9 because CHG9 is for debenture holders and CHG1 is for other than debentures. Okay. Now let's move ahead and finish off the topics that we have decided and fixed for today. So now it says where the issue of certification of registration, where the charge or modification is duly registered by the registrar of companies where the charge has been created, a certificate of registration or modification will be issued by the registrar in the certificate form number CHG2 and CHG3 where it is for the modification. Now, children, you are a company, you are a alliance, you went to ROC and what did you file? Ma'am, we just saw these forms also. We have filed CHG1 or CHG9 while getting our charge registered with the ROC. ROC, after seeing all the compliance, will issue a certificate of registration. In which form? ROC is going to issue the registration certificate in CHG2 form. But ma'am, what is this modification? Why are you saying? We are understanding certificate of registration. We went to the ROC with CHG1 and CHG9. ROC issued us back CHG2 form. But if there is any modification means changes. So I am the company, you are the lender, the rate of interest which we have agreed has come into a change or other terms and conditions have changed. Now you need to intimate the ROC again about these kind of modifications. So again, you will file these changes, modifications with the ROC. These modifications will again be filed in CHG1 only. So I showed you in the form, it was written for creation of charge or modification. So fresh creation of charge or the modification changes have to be filed in CHG1 and 9 only. ROC will issue us the fresh certificate of registration CHG2. And if it is modification, then ROC will issue certificate CHG3. And both these certificates are the conclusive evidence that all the requirements of Chapter 6 of Companies Act and the rules made therein have been complied by the company with respect to creation of charge or modification of charge. So let's make a small chart quickly and understand our thinking. Company goes and files with ROC. Please tell me, children, CHG1 and or CHG1 or CHG9 for creation or modification of charges. Am I right? ROC will issue certificate of fresh registration. What is the meaning of fresh registration? Means now you're getting the Dubai property that you have given as charge. You're creating a charge in favor of that. You're getting it registered. ROC will issue fresh certificate in CHG2 form. And when the modification has been filed, then ROC will issue CHG3 form for modification of charges. All right, children. ROC will issue certificate 2 of fresh registration for CHG2 and will file the modification in CHG3. Very good. All of you have written the correct thing in the chat box also, and I've written the summary for you in the notes also. Yes, Lahori Moruju has written both now. I hope you all are clear about this now. Okay. So consequences of non-registration, what will happen? And I wanted to show you CHG3 form since I've downloaded for you. Yes, Pooja, absolutely correct. You want to see CHG3 form, even if one of the form you'll see, you'll get an understanding. CHG2 and 3 are interrelated only. CHG3 form. So this is how your CHG3 forms look like. So I'm showing you the form of modification. Similar is the form related to certification. Certificate of registration of modification of charge. This is as per section 79 clause B of the Companies Act, sub rule 2 of the rule 6 of the company's registration of charges. Rule SIN number and foreign company number. SIN number has to be given, name of the company, charge, and this is to certify that according to the provisions of chapter 6, the above charge dated so and so created in favor of so has been modified. So when or it has been written, it has been created, then it is CHG2. So this is how the modification forms look like. This is the certificate of modification of registration, which will come from the side of who is going to issue this. CHG3 will be issued by the company or ROC. Let me take a test. Sure? Everyone is writing ROC. Are you sure? Yes, ma'am, that's correct. ROC is going to issue. And somehow I'm not able to connect with the students who are here with the admin. Yes, now I'm able to see you. Pala Murugan, absolutely correct. Joa Parveen, Sarvesh. All of you have written correct. If you have any doubts, students on the portal, you can also ask. Okay. All right, children. So let's move ahead. Yes, Manvi, CHG2 is also given by ROC, and CHG2 is given for fresh registration, and CHG3 is given for the modification. Now it says no charge has been created by the company. Now what happens if charge is not created by the company fails to get this charge created, then what will happen? I told you one very important thing. If the company fails to get this charge registered, then who will step in? Is there anyone who can step inside? Please answer me. If company fails to get this charge registered, then is it who will feel unsecured? Who will get this? If the charge is not secured, then it becomes void. Okay, what is the consequences of non-registration? Means if you have not registered the charge, it becomes void. That means there is no security which has been given by you. So who will get disappointed because of this? The company or the lender? Who will be disappointed because of this? Company or the lender who will feel disappointed? The lender. Very good. All of you are correct. The charge holder words you're using. Very good. Khushi, nice. Tambeshwari, Ibrahim. Irambi Shaha, Shruti, all of you correct. Manvi, everyone, nice. So the charge holder himself will get the charge registered under section 78. Okay. But today we'll just complete section 77 only. Number 1, it says if the charge is not registered, no charge created by the company shall be taken into account by the liquidator or any other person unless it is registered. And if you have not, that means now if the liquidator of the company is appointed, he will not consider this charge. That means this is a free, this is free from charge. No security has been given against this if you have not registered this charge. Yes, Lahari Moruju, CHG1 is given by the company to ROC when they want to apply for the registration of charges. That's absolutely correct. And also it says that now there will be problematic thing in the repayment of money, the loan repaid, there will be difficulty. So the charge holder loses his priority. What is the meaning of this line? Charge holder is going to lose his priority means now he will not, this charge is not secured. So this is going to affect him. So that's why section 78, which we jump in after this, is it tells you that if the company fails to get it registered, then the charge holder will himself go and get the charge registered, which I'm going to explain you in the next class, how the charge holder can go and get it self-registered. But here we'll just understand one important point which is given over here. That is, how does this charge holder loses his priority? It says if you have not registered the charge, suppose Reliance took the loan from 2 banks, SBI. First, it took the loan and gave the security of his building to SBI, and also the loan has been taken from HDFC Bank. So now if the charge of HDFC Bank is registered and SBI is not registered, then SBI will loses its priority. Means the charge holder, the other charge holder will not be able to recover the money. Okay. So this is very, very important to understand that the charge has to be registered. That's why in consequences of section 76, subsection 3 and 4, this section 78 has been invented that if the company fails to get it self-registered, then this charge holder will step in and he will go to the registrar so that I feel secured. Tomorrow I will be into trouble if my charge is not registered. Now, children, as promised, I wanted to show you a beautiful thing which Institute has done for you. There is Saransh, which is given as the last mile reference. What is pari pasu anyway related to this charge, ma'am? Pari pasu means it is in the same way. Pari pasu is equal footing that we did in case of deposits. So if I'm giving my property to SBI as a security and pari pasu charge has been created for HDFC Bank, then that means both the companies will be able to take the same amount from that. Okay. Karan Kumar, you don't have to go into that bankruptcy code. It was simply telling you where the liquidators have been defined. Okay. So you don't have to go into it. Simply tells you that if the charge is not registered, then the charge becomes void, liquidator, and any other person is not going to take it into consideration. Now, let me show you something very interesting, children. See, such a beautiful summary is given by Board of Studies over here for all of you. This is for corporate and other laws. And if you'll just go and give a reference to over here, let me just open the registration of charges, which I wanted to show you all. So this is a kind of a ready reckoner thing where you can just go and see the summary, how beautifully they have done it. And it is so colorful also. Yes, this chapter number 6 is here with us. Let me show it to you. Is it visible? This ranch is visible to all of you. Can you see registration of charges? Are you able to see the same thing that I've opened? See how beautifully they have made it. Ritika Gupta, this is for the reference, the summary that they have given, okay? So charge is the definition. You can see how beautifully it is given over here, the definitions and the notice of charge from the date of registration. So 30 days and another extension, 60 days again was from the date of registration. This is the process that you can see from here beautifully. The charge created before 30 days, if not registered. 300 days is from the date of creation. Please remember that. So additional days were 270 days. Otherwise, 6 months time period. Examiner can give you the straight away question. There is a charge which is existing on 2nd November 2018. How much extension can be given? Don't write 60 days. You write 6 months, and different fees will be for different class of companies. It's not giving you the fees. Learn that much only which is given in the study material. So different fees to be different fees. You have to learn. You don't have to learn the fees. And on and after 2nd November, within 30 days, not registered, then extra 30 days, and then additional 60 days will be given. And this is your satisfaction of charge. This is what we're going to understand in the next class. So briefly, they have given you summaries over here of the chapters, okay? Ritika is looking for the amendments, not the amendments, the summaries of the chapters. All right. So students, I think, yes, Riddhi. So I think let's stop over here if you have any doubts, because I wanted to do certain question answers also with you. Maybe we can take up, we still have 5-6 minutes. We can take a few questions because I don't want to proceed further. Otherwise, it becomes too much information for all of you. So it's time to test your knowledge. How will a copy of an instrument evidencing creation of charge to be filed with the registrar be verified? So I told you the forms that you have to fill. So it is asking copy of an instrument means the instrument that we have filed a charge, we have evidencing a charge is required to be filed with the registrar to be verified. So what will come in this? Yes, Ritika Gupta, you should definitely make out charts and study. That is good. But again, at the time of writing the examination, you have to understand that you have to write down law over there. Okay. You cannot simply say that make the flow charts and make them understand. You have, for revising and for learning, definitely you should make these kind of flow charts. So all of you are writing CHG1. I'm talking about how creation of the charge has to be verified. Remember verification. You forgot about this verification we did now, how the verification of the instrument has to be done. So if the property is situated inside India, outside India, it is talking about that topic, children. If the property is situated outside India, the copy of the instrument, which is solely for the property situated outside India, shall be signed under company seal, secretary, company secretary, director, or authorized officer of the charge holder or under any of the person other than the company who is interested. In case property situated inside India, by CS or by director or under any of the person who is authorized by the charge holder. So 3 are the cases in case of property situated in India. 5 cases are given in case of property situated outside India. Is that clear? Question number 1 is clear to all of you? Question number 2 says, explain the provisions enforced by the Companies Amendment Second Ordinance 2019 when the charge created before 2nd November is not registered. What will happen then? If the charge created before 2nd November, yes, Pooja, correct answer given. Manvi, correct answer for the previous one. 6 months time period, Nanda Goyal is saying. After 270 plus 6 months, Aisha is saying 6 months. What will happen? 30 days, 300 days. Okay. Abhishek Mishra is saying, ma'am, choose yourself. Manvi saying within 30 days. Riddhi is saying 60 days. 60 days? Nahi usme. So let me explain you. It's okay. It's okay even if you're writing wrong, it's okay. So first you will write every company creating a charge within or outside India on its property, whether tangible, situated, has to register itself. All right. First, you give them the definition. What are you talking about? Registering of charges. Section 77, subclause 1 is important. He's asking you what is written in Section 77, clause 1. Okay. So in the next lecture, you have to learn this and come by heart so that when I'm asking you questions, you answer me back and your theory is learned here only. Okay. All right. So in case the charge is created before 2nd November, then the first provision of Section 77 will become applicable. The extension will be allowed for 300 days. All right. And you can also write an additional line that if the charge, because the examiner is asking you only before 2nd November 2018. Let me explain. So if such kind of questions are coming to children where you know the provisions, you have learned it, so you can give the entire summary. But don't give too much detail. Maybe the question is of 4 marks. You have to be very specific according to the number of marks the question has been asked. Now, if it would have been for 6 marks, you can give the entire history, geography, how happened before 2nd November and after 2nd November, everything. But if the question is for 3 marks, then you will specifically write how the charge section 77, subsection 1, and then subsection, the first provision that we have understood, that flowchart, you can make it nicely before 2nd November within 30 days, but you have to explain it also. You cannot just write the arrows and make the examiner who understand himself. You have to explain them that within extension will be given for 300 days from the date of creation along with the additional fees. And if the charge is still existing on 2nd November 2018, then the extension of 6 months time period can be. All right. So please revise it along with the sections. I hope you enjoyed the session. You have been answering it nicely. So I feel, yes, flowcharts. Again, Mahori is asking, can we draw the flowcharts in exams? So I prefer that you don't draw flowcharts in exams because in examination, they need the law language. You have to explain them. You have to make them understand what you're writing. Case-specific answers have to be there. Okay? So you cannot, but for your understanding, you can definitely draw the flowcharts and all. Okay, thank you, Ajay Surya. Thank you, Neeru. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pranav. Thank you so much, Rachna. I'm glad all of you, Joa, Praveen, Bala Murugan, Nancy, I hope you all have understood what we have done. Great. Yes, definitely you all have to learn. Thank you, children. So anyone has any doubts, you can please. Ajay Surya, want to ask something? Anyone has any doubts, they can ask. Otherwise, we are done for the session. Hardik has doubt in deposits. Okay, Hardik, you can ask it and then I'll answer you in the next class only because time will not prohibit. Time is prohibiting now. Yes, you can leave your question here. Yes.
Ma'am, I have a doubt in study material. Ma'am, in question number 10 of TYK, ma'am, I am not able to understand it. So, ma'am.
Question number 10, you want me to take up in the next session
Yes.
for deposit?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Write down whatever.
Thank you, ma'am.
No worries. Thank you, beta. Thank you. Yes, Ritika Gupta.
Ma'am, good evening. I want to know the meaning of satisfaction of charge. You told pay back the money in order to take the property back. Am I correct,
I've
ma'am?
not explained you this topic. We will understand it's a very huge topic. I've not even touched it today. So just one liner, yes, it means when you have paid the money back. But it is a very huge topic. We will do it in detail in the next class.
Okay,
All
ma'am.
right.
Section 78. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lahari Moruju, for beautiful lines that you have written. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Sarvesh. I'm glad you all have enjoyed the session, and see you in the next class. And also, you should go through deposits also. Okay. We'll try to see if we can cover up some more part of deposits as well. All right, children. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Yes.